Welcome to another episode in Unmute Yourself. Today I have with me Jabbar Ahmed. We met professionally a while ago, and someone who's worked at one organization for 21 years, building it from inside out, from ground up. He has watched it expand, and he's been at the crux of all the success, all the transformation, worked at different intersections of finance, operations, legal, HR, and even marketing, sometimes differently and sometimes all at once. He comes to us from Kuwait, and he brings his perspective on leadership that is very deep and profound both. Jabbar, I'm very glad to have you with us on Unmute Yourself.
Coach, thank you so much. It's an absolute pleasure to be here with you today.
I'd like to know, who is Jabbar beyond the LinkedIn profile, and what do people miss when they see your profile?
You're right, Coach. If you look at the titles, they all sound very neat and corporate structured. But what a title misses is the true reflection of the 21 years. A journey of 2 decades. So in my case, I have spent over 2 decades helping this organization from inside out in Kuwait, watching it scale through all its challenges. Like I remember, it was 2 branches, 2 locations. We reached to 7 locations, and there are other diversified business activities. Look, when you grow in a company for that long time, you don't stay in silo. I have had to sit at the active intersection of finance, as you have mentioned, operations, HR, legal, and marketing.
Right.
So, all in the same afternoon. So, beyond LinkedIn profile, I'm an operational problem solver. I live in that space where the logic of finance meets the messy reality of daily operations, keeping the mechanics running smoothly as much as I can.
Wow. I like I'm at the intersection and I'm a problem solver. It brings to mind so many things. But we don't inherit these skills, Jabbar. Somebody in the course of making mistakes, working through your trial and errors, you learn. Is this somebody or someone that has actually been instrumental in your career and taught you how to do this? And what did they do differently that you observed?
Coach, earlier in my career, I thought the authority came entirely from a title. But when you're managing the massive cross-functional projects like scaling, opening a new location, you quickly realize that you cannot simply command people from other independent departments to perform. So I learned this true influence from a mentor who paved the way for an important understanding. They didn't rely on this corporate hierarchy only, or just by raising your voice, asking people to attend. Instead, they focus entirely on being proactive and completely owning their response to chaos.
Right.
It taught me that the space between an operational crisis and our reaction is where we weatherproof the business. When a problem hits, if you panic, the team panics. If you deliberately choose calm, solution-oriented attitude, people naturally align with you. And I always say that when there is alignment, there is clarity.
Right.
And when there is clarity, the organization will excel.
Very profoundly, you said something, towards the start of your response about titles not being in authority, and you don't command a lot of respect or by just yelling on a floor and expecting people to follow you. However, we live in a professional environment today where titles matter, hierarchy matters. You're supposed to follow the chain of command. While you operate in Kuwait, relationships and hierarchy play a very important role. They carry a lot of weight. How do you stay transparent when you're dealing with information, communication? What is your take?
I agree, the culture and the environment plays an important role and it matters. So, this is a very real challenge when you navigate corporate environments in Kuwait, where mutual respect, relationships, and hierarchy carry deep social and professional weight. I have learned that transparency is never about being blunt, aggressive, or looking to expose people. It's entirely about deep clarity.
Right.
In my experience, the corporate bottlenecks are rarely the intelligence problems. They are a clarity problem driven by misaligned priorities among the stakeholder. So senior leadership often feel like the air traffic control. Everyone is moving fast.
For example.
And everyone is fully convinced, by the way, that their specific department direction is the right one.
Right.
So there has to be someone who makes sure that they don't collide.
Right.
In my case, if I have to deliver a tough financial data or a variance report to an operation team,
Right.
I don't just hand over the budget cut. I sit down with them, acknowledge their immediate goals, and explain the long-term strategic why. Look, when you respect the hierarchy and take time to communicate on a human level, transparency is welcomed. It will be welcomed as a supportive tool and not an overstep.
Right, right. I like the example of the air traffic control. It gave me a very, a very live visual of somebody sitting and controlling. And of course, everybody wants to be first, or I'm at priority, and I'm important. But while we say that, the air traffic control also has certain rules, has certain, regulations, certain norms, and there are some non-negotiables we don't compromise on. What would be yours?
Absolutely. See, every culture or every organization, they have their boundaries. So in my case, my absolute non-negotiable is the transparency in communication. When an organization is under heavy or peak pressure, whether they have to meet the growth targets or handling the audit compliance, the default human reaction is to avoid hard conversations
Right,
and hide the bad news,
right.
hoping that the issues will fix itself. But business problems never get smaller when you ignore them.
Right,
They just get significantly more expensive to resolve later.
right.
I tell myself, bad news does not age well. If a project is falling behind or
Right.
the metrics are not hitting the mark, I want it out on the table immediately. You can fix an issue quickly today for a minor cost, or you can wait and pay for an incredibly painful, expensive troubleshoot later on.
True.
Yeah, and I tell my team that especially during their induction meetings, if you are confused or you see a red flag,
Right.
raise it immediately in the right form. Do not just sit on it and do not gossip about it.
Right.
Because maintaining clear, honest communication up and down the chain is something I don't want to compromise on.
You also create this kind of psychological safety for your people, so that they can at least come up to you and share with you inhibitions, obstacles, errors, and not be afraid of the consequence. And that's a good leadership trait to have. You've been at the helm of finance. I see you as a finance strategist. You're dealing with money. You're dealing with strategy around finance, investments, balance sheets, spreadsheets. The numbers, the balance between, what the numbers and the spreadsheets are telling you with your intuition of what your leadership says. How do you manage both? How do you align, balance both?
Coach, it's hard, but it's a constant and delicate balancing act. As a finance head, my day is governed by numbers, as you said.
Yes.
The numbers must tell the truth.
Right.
But spreadsheets only show you what happened in the past. They cannot tell you why it happened. When there is a direct clash between a spreadsheet and my gut intuition, my rule is to intentionally slow down. Because haste and speed are two completely different things.
Right.
I take a piece of paper, write down the issues. There is an old saying that a problem clearly defined and written down is a problem half solved. For example, I remember during COVID, when the businesses were closed for many months, a spreadsheet might tell you to instantly cut the number of staff.
Yes,
But
correct.
the intuition and experience tell you that sacrificing your experienced people
Right.
will destroy staff loyalty,
Absolutely.
customer trust,
Right.
and the long-term revenue. Many of the companies had faced that, and they faced the harsh reality when everything was open. So in those moments, I try to clear this superficial noise, and the correct strategic path becomes pretty obvious.
But that's the first thing that comes to mind in terms of saving cost and saving organizations is to reduce people. And I'm sure it must have been difficult for you too. So I'm sure with this trait, people that see you, Jabbar, although I'm going back to your finance and your numbers and the balance between the human side of it, and people that see this in you. I'm sure there is a lot of transparency and trust in your teams where they would come up to you and share with you, let's say, errors, mistakes, complications, career choices. How do you build this psychological safety, this transparency in your team?
Look, we all come across these scenarios, and as human, naturally on the situation we react. But the goal is to control and manage the situation intelligently. Because if a leader reacts with anger, blame, when a mistake happens, transparency dies immediately. The next error
Yes.
will be simply hidden.
Correct.
So my internal framework in those high-stake moments is to completely lower the emotional temperature. I remind myself that everyone looks at corporate reality through a different functional lens. The finance team wants
Right.
control, operation wants speed,
Yes.
and leadership wants growth.
Correct.
So mistakes usually happen right in the gaps between those competing priorities. When a team member comes to me with a mistake, my first goal is not to lecture them. It's simply to understand. I ask them to walk me through their logic, what they were trying to achieve, and what they are worried about losing. Because data and logic can fix the mistake itself, but trust is what ensures that they will confidently walk back to my office when the next time any issue arises.
You have this presence and you have this aura of leadership that you demonstrate. So over the years, what significant shift you've made in how you show up in a room?
Coach, a wise person once told me that the energy you bring in will be the energy you will get back. But earlier in my career, I thought the executive presence meant like having an immediate, brilliant answer for every single question.
Right.
And sounding like the smartest person in the room. The real turning point was realizing that true leadership presence isn't communicated through talking or dominance. I shifted my entire approach from talking to impress to listening to connect. So today, when I walk into a boardroom, I spend far less time trying to sound complex,
Mm.
a lot more time ensuring that I'm being perfectly clear,
Right.
grounded, and tuned to what actually the room needs to move forward.
Mm.
Yeah.
Speaking about forward, um, we touched upon a little bit of your past, your present, and let's look at what is next. What is the legacy? What do you want to be known as?
Coach, that's a heavy word. Legacy is for the legends. But I genuinely care far more about the deep human impact than the corporate designations.
Mm.
Over a 21 years career, you come to realize that titles are just leased spaces.
Right.
Eventually, your lead expires and
Mm.
your title belongs to someone else.
Mm.
The legacy I'm quietly working forward toward is simple. I
Mm.
want people to be genuinely uplifted
Mm.
because we have worked together.
Right.
From now, I would love for a colleague or a team member to look back and say, I became more confident, more capable, and more courageous because Jabbar believed in me before I fully believed in myself.
Right.
I am very fortunate to experience that exact type of horizon expanding leadership from my own leader today. Hitting our financial target is fun,
Mm. Mm.
but becoming a true catalyst for
Mm.
someone else's professional and personal growth
Mm.
is the only legacy that actually matters.
Very interesting. I'm sure that uh, your balance sheets will balance, and your profit and loss accounts will show more profit, less debt, less bad debt, more cash flow. You've been incredible. I've seen your journey. And what you have evolved today and continuously you do in your own humility is really profound to witness. So this has been such a real conversation, Jabbar, and not a like a scripted one. And I really enjoyed having this. There were aspects of this conversation that brought certain visuals to me. And you've worked for 21 years building something from inside out, which rarely people do, like staying when it is hard, growing through it, becoming a stronger leader when it was easier to leave. And, that kind of commitment, that kind of leadership says a lot. I really thank you for being here and for being this open and this candid, for reminding everyone that's watching and listening to this that the most powerful thing a leader can do is to show up and show up with honesty. This conversation has landed for you. I'd really like to hear it. Drop it in the comments, share it with somebody who needs to hear it. And if you're ready to do the work on yourself, you know where to find me. Until the next time, stay unmuted.
Thank you so much, Coach.
Thank you.